U.S. Navy launches live fire missiles in warning to China. The U.S. Navy was targeting China with live-fire missile tests in the Philippine Sea last week, sending a message that it was up to the challenge of the PLA's new advanced systems, military analysts said. In the drilling waters east of the Philippines on Thursday, the guided missile destroyer USS Barry launched a medium-range Standard Missile 2, the U.S. 7th Fleet said on its Facebook page. It was accompanied by the guided missile cruiser USS Shiloh, which also launched an SM-2 during the drill. Beijing-based military specialist Zhu Chenming said these kinds of drill were not common and could be seen as a warning to the People's Liberation Army. The U.S. Navy is worried about Chinese missiles, which China could use as a trump card in a military conflict between the two parties in the region. The 7th Fleet wants to warn Beijing that it can intercept missiles from China, Zhu said. Li Ji, another Beijing-based military analyst, agreed that the launches were a message to China, and to a lesser extent, Russia. The U.S. Navy wants to tell China that they can counter the PLA's advanced missiles, Li said. The PLA has developed two kinds of missiles that could pose big threats to the U.S. military, the carrier-killer DF-21D and the anti-ship DF-26, which has a 4,000 kilometers (2,500-mile) range and puts the U.S. naval base in Guam within reach. Either one of the missiles might have been put through its paces in June when the PLA rocket force staged missile tests in the disputed South China Sea, according to the Pentagon. The USS Barry was retrofitted with the latest Aegis combat system 2 years ago, improving its ability to defend bases such as Guam and U.S. warships from the two kinds of Chinese missiles. Further U.S. upgrades and tests can be expected, as the PLA tries to narrow the hardware, software and training gap with the American military, according to Colin Ko-Swee-Lean, a research fellow with the Institute of Defense and Strategic Studies Maritime Security Program in Singapore. Given the shift in defense focus to the Indo-Pacific and with the PLA threat in mind, I wouldn't be surprised if the U.S. Navy conducted more such live-fire exercises to validate the fleet's capabilities against the evolving PLA missile strength, Ko said, adding that the Philippine Sea would be a significant battlefield in any future China-U.S. armed conflict. The missile launches come as the U.S. strengthens military links with Vietnam, the Philippines and other regional allies as part of its Indo-Pacific strategy to curb China's power in the South China Sea. The 7th Fleet said the Barry's live-fire operation was in support of security and stability in the Indo-Pacific. Hong Kong-based military commentator Song Zhongping said the drill in the Philippine Sea was meant to strengthen the U.S. military presence in the region, amid fears that the U.S. could be forced out by the PLA. The Philippine Sea is also the critical maritime artery for PLA vessels when they sail to the Western Pacific and Indian Oceans, Song said. The U.S. Navy needs to further enhance its military presence in the region, signaling that political trust between the two countries is falling.